me Geeky and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done a video. My last video was actually a live stream and I had a fantastic time doing it. But for today's video, I'm going to be doing my 1,000 subscriber Q&A video. It's going to be a bit of a long one, so I'm going to split it into two parts. And Reese is going to be helping me, but Reese doesn't want to be filmed today, but he's in the background.
Hello.
He did wave at the camera even though it's not there, but yeah, so we're going to split it into two parts. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's subscribed recently. We are way over 1,500 subscribers and it's incredible, so thank you guys very much. Thank you guys for all your support on my live stream and everything else. But I'm going to have Reece call out the questions. Are you going to say the names?
I will. I do apologise
Okay.
when I butcher them.
So Reece is going to say your guys' names. And yeah, sorry if we butcher them, both of us. We're not very good with names. But yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the questions, shall we? So question number one
is from Hirim Choi. What manga are you currently reading and what manga do you recommend?
So the manga that I'm currently reading are The Demon Prince of Momochi House and Everyone's Getting Married. I recently got volume 1 of Everyone's Getting Married and binged read the first 2 volumes because I've only got the first 3 and absolutely adored it. I cannot wait to get more. Obviously it's Christmas period coming up, so I can't get any more at the moment, but I'm super excited to continue with it. It's a bit smutty, it's a bit smexy, it's adult couples, not high school couples, so it's right up my street because they're kind of like a similar age to me, so I'm really enjoying that one. The Demon Prince of Momochi House I've spoken about before. It's absolutely fantastic. It is a high school kind of romance, but it's along the supernatural side with yokai and spirits and kind of Japanese folklore and legends and stuff like that, and I'm really enjoying that one as well, so I definitely recommend those two. I'll give you a couple of recommendations for shonen slash seinen. So for seinen, I would probably say Hell's Paradise. I'm reading that one as well and thoroughly enjoying it. It's a bit of a bit bloody, a bit gory, a bit kind of Blade of the Immortal type theme to it. That's what I've been told because I haven't actually read that series myself, but that one would be a good one. And if you kind of like a laid back shonen and you're not really into shonen but you would want to sort of like dip your toes in, for me, I absolutely adore Dr. Stone, so that would be my recommendation for those two genres. Next question please, Reece.
Next question is from Tayson June.
Yeah.
What was your first manga and why did you pick it up?
So the first series that I picked up, is Fruits Basket. I've got the original Tokyo Pop editions and the Yen Press ones. I absolutely adored the 2000 anime, and that's kind of what got me into it. I didn't know that manga was a medium until after I'd watched the anime, and then I found the Tokyo Pop versions in my local bookstore at Waterstones and just fell in love, and from then this is kind of how I accumulated all of this. So yeah, Fruits Basket was the first one, and I definitely recommend it if you haven't watched it or read it either, and definitely check out the 2019 reboot because it's absolutely stunning. Next question please.
Next question is from Siraj DH. What is a manga that you would like to get an anime?
What is a manga that I'd like to see animated? So I think that the series that I'd like to see have a full-length animation rather than an OVA would be Angel Sanctuary, or just anything by Karayuki. Karayuki is probably my favourite manga artist. She does absolutely fantastically dark gothic style series, and if you've been following me for a while you will know that is my jam. That is the thing that I love. Other than a little bit of smut, I enjoy a dark shoujo or a darker series, so definitely Angel Sanctuary. I feel that it would have enough action, enough suspense and that sort of thing for the market at the moment, specifically with Jujutsu Kaisen doing so well with like the yokai side. It's obviously like a darker shonen, so I definitely feel like this would get a lot of attention if it was given an anime. I think I can only dream, right guys? I can only dream. Maybe one day, but anything karaoke or Angel Sanctuary. Next question, please.
Is from Anne Chan.
Yep.
How did you get into anime and manga?
Okay, so hi girl, thank you very much for your comment. And if you don't know who Anne Chan is, she already has a YouTube channel, so I will drop the links somewhere in the description box down below. So if you haven't checked her out, please do. She's awesome. So what got me into anime and manga, right? So when I was a kid, growing up in the 90s, I used to watch Fox Kids on a Saturday and Sunday, or basically whenever I came home from school, but mostly on Saturday and Sunday. And I first saw Sailor Moon and literally fell in love with it. I loved the whole idea of there being a overarching story, and that's kind of what Sailor Moon gave me. Whereas at the time when I was watching other like Western style animated series, they didn't have an overarching story, so they're kind of really episodic, and it didn't keep me engaged as much as Sailor Moon did. Plus they were cute girls, plus they were in cute sailor outfits, and they were like teenagers, so they were like my childhood heroes when I was a kid. So from then I ended up then getting into Pokemon, because in the 90s that's when the Pokemon cards first came out. And I remember my aunt getting me Pokemon cards from like the local the local newspaper store. Newsagents, the local newsagents. And they were like 50p at the time. We used to collect those. Then I saw like Yu-Gi-Oh!, then Dragon Ball, and then later came Naruto. But yeah, Sailor Moon basically got me into it. So for me, Sailor Moon is definitely a nostalgic series. And yeah, I absolutely adore it. Next question, please.
It's from The Root Ripper. Great name.
Oh, I like that name.
Favourite slice of life?
Favourite slice of life. Okay, so for me, my favourite slice of life, if I can reach it, is Komi. Komi Can't Communicate. I don't tend to read a whole lot of slice of life series per se. I'm more of sort of like romantic, comedy, fantasy, and then like shonen is kind of like action packed or whatever. But I don't tend to read a whole lot of slice of life. But Komi Can't Communicate definitely grabbed my heartstrings because of what the story is about. Like Komi makes it really, finds it really hard to make friends, and she has a social anxiety disorder or suffers from social anxiety. And for me, I suffer from that a lot. Like Reese would know, right? He's nodding his head in the background. I suffer from anxiety a lot, and this just really resonated with me really well. Like even now I'm 27 and I still suffer quite badly with social anxiety, although Reese would actually tell you that out of both of us, if we walk into a room with people that we don't know, it's going to be me that does the talking mostly. Oh, yeah. But I do suffer really badly with it. But Komi is such a cute heartwarming series. Like the interactions between her and her classmates are so cute. The only thing that I do wish there was, although having said that, I have only read like volume 1, but I wanted to see more interaction between is it Tadano, I think he's called. Yeah, Tadano and Komi. I would like to see more interaction between those, like within the first volume. But I've really, really enjoyed this. But that is probably my favourite slice of life series. But if you have got any slice of life series recommendations, please do like pop them down in the comment section, because I'm always up for giving anything a go. But it's not a genre that I tend to gravitate to, but I would love to give it a go anyway. So yeah, next question, please.
It's from Sebastian Rodriguez. What's your favourite shoujo manga?
My favourite shoujo? Oh my gosh, that is so difficult, because most of my collection is shoujo, so that is difficult. Back in the day when I was getting into shoujo, it was definitely Fruits Basket was my favourite, because it was the first one that I ever collected and ever watched as an anime, so that's got a special place in my heart, along with Sailor Moon. However, at the moment, my favourite one that I'm really enjoying is let me think. I think it's a toss-up between Requiem of the Rose King and The Demon Prince of Momochi House. Those two are my very top favourites at the moment. Does that even make sense? I don't even think that makes sense, but they're the ones that I'm enjoying the most at the moment. I find it really hard to pick my favourites. Like, I have favourite authors, but I tend not to have like favourite series, because I like such a broad spectrum of things. So yeah, they are probably my favourite two at the moment, along with Sweat and Soap, although I've been told that Sweat and Soap isn't actually a shoujo or a josei. It's technically demographically classed as a seinen, but that's a different story. But yeah, that's the ones. Next question please, Reese.
Well, this is from Bizarre Individual. He's got 3 questions.
Okay, 3 questions. Hi Bizarre. Bizarre is also another one that has got a YouTube channel. He's got an awesome channel. He's been doing MangaTube a lot longer than me, and he has such a great channel. So I will also leave a link for his channel down in the description below. So thank you for your question.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
First off, why did you take a break from manga?
Oh, why did I take a break from manga? So, not many people know this. I have said it a couple of times before, but I don't know how many of you guys know this. I took a break from anime and manga for about, what, 2 or 3 years? Must have been 2 or 3 years, right?
About 2 years, yeah.
About 2 years. A few years prior to that, or a few months prior to that, I had started my YouTube channel up, and I'd been doing a load of haul videos, and then I kind of got in the mindset and was watching a lot of other people's channels and videos at the time, and they were doing really big hauls, and I found myself feeling really pressured into trying to compete with such big hauls at the time. And I know that was such a stupid mindset to have back in the day, and I wish I never had that, because I really enjoyed my hobby. And it just kind of put a downer, because I was buying loads of random shit that I didn't necessarily didn't necessarily like at the time. I just brought it because loads of people were buying it and it was popular, and I just didn't like it, of which some of the stuff is actually still in my collection, so I do want to unhaul some of that. But that was one of the reasons I kind of fell out of love with it. I felt real pressured to keep up with everybody else, and that's kind of why I stopped doing YouTube in general. It just didn't really make me motivated. I felt really down, really pressured. I ended up having so many series in my collection that I couldn't keep up with, and it was just really hard. And honestly, if I was to give anybody advice that is like starting a channel or starting collecting manga, don't buy everything at once. Like, there's so many great resources out there that are legal and you can read free manga from, like the Shonen Jump app. Like, try before you buy, as long as it's like a legal way of getting hold of it. Like, obviously I say this, but a lot of people do read scans, and I'm not the scan police. I'm not telling you not to do that, but for me personally, I read manga legally because I'm able to, with buying and whatnot. But like, definitely try before you buy, and don't feel pressured into picking everything up just because it's popular. Like, take your time. Your collection is unique to you. You don't have to have everything that everybody else has. Like, your collection is an extension of yourself, and it would be boring if everybody was the same. So that's would be my advice for anybody that's collecting. But yeah, that kind of is what stopped me from buying manga, like taking a break, because I just felt so pressured. But funny enough, the series that got me back into reading manga was actually Tokyo Ghoul. It was sitting on my shelf for the longest time, and I watched the anime for it, and it was like, I wanted to know what happens next because the first series kind of differs completely from the manga. So I picked it up and literally blasted through it and brought everything else, and that is how I ended up with all of this, because before reading that I literally only had one bookshelf full of manga. So yeah, Tokyo Ghoul was that one. Sorry guys, that was quite a long-winded question, a long-winded answer, sorry, to the question.
So the second part of this question.
And this is still from Bazaar, right?
Still from Bazaar. If your boyfriend had to read a manga, what would you choose?
What would I choose? So I think I would probably choose My Hero Academia, only because Reese has watched the anime to it, right? And you've come along to the cinema to watch one of the movies. I think one of the movies. Yeah, one of the movies. And he really enjoyed it. Now, you do enjoy Haikyuu. You've seen that one. That's the volleyball one.
Yes, I like that.
So he does enjoy that one as well. But I definitely would probably say that it would be My Hero Academia, probably purely because you like Marvel like me, and it's probably the closest thing. However, I will say this, he probably would never read a manga. Like, he would just watch the anime. So if it was anime based, definitely without a doubt My Hero. Closely followed by Haikyuu. But yeah, those would probably be the two.
And the final part of this question.
Yeah.
If you could only keep one shelf of manga.
One shelf, okay.
What series would be on it?
Oh, that's really hard. Is it... I don't know, would it be one shelf full of different series or one shelf with one series? Like,
we'll go with one shelf. We'll go with one shelf of different series.
One shelf with different series. So how
do
many?
Like one of the small ones.
So should I do like three or four?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I was to do 3 or 4 series, I would probably have to have One Piece. I'm sorry, but One Piece is such a fantastic adventure shonen. I adore it so much. I love every single character: Chopper, Brook, Robin, Nami, Zoro, Sanji, Luffy. I love all of them. I love the crew so much. And Jinbei, forgot Jinbei. But I love the crew so much. The whole adventure story, it's just, I just love it. So probably One Piece. Maybe a little bit of smexiness, so I'd probably have to say a bit of Sweat and Soap, because you know I like a bit of Sweat and Soap. And maybe, did I say 3 or did I say 4 that I was going to say? 3 or 4. So we go with 4. The next 2 would probably be, I'm having a quick peek now, I need to have some karaoke on that shelf, right? So I'm gonna have to be Angel Sanctuary, one of my favourites. And the last one would probably be Dr. Stone, because honestly, I really enjoy that shonen. I absolutely adore it. So probably those 4 on the shelf any day. Next question, please.
So the next question is from Megan Smith.
Yeah.
Is there a genre of manga that you don't like?
Is there a genre of manga that I don't like? I don't think there is a genre per se that I don't like. I've tried a lot of different genres, so I do have a lot of shoujo, josei, some seinen and shonen in my collection. I don't tend to read a whole lot of slice of life. However, I think would probably be horror. I don't read horror, do I really?
Watch horror either.
I don't like horror movies.
Sucks for me.
I don't like horror at all. It's strange because I like a really, really dark, gritty, bloody, gory thriller, but I just don't like horror. So probably horror. So unfortunately, I haven't tried any Junji Ito stuff, but yeah, it would probably have to be horror. Next question, please, Reese.
The next question, next 2 questions.
Oh, next 2.
Are from Lou Rock. I could have got that wrong. Congratulations on 1K.
Thank you.
If you had the chance to write your own manga, what kind of story would it be?
See, I saw this question and I was trying to think of like what type of story that I would do for the longest time, and it's really hard because I like so many different genres, so I would kind of want to like grab all of them, like smush them into one and have one big juicy amazing series. But I probably would have to have like an historical type feel with it, with supernatural creatures like a vampire. I mean, I love a vampire with some sexy men, I'm just saying. A bit of smuttiness, because you know I like a bit of the smuttiness. Reese is giving me the death stare right now, I'm really sorry. But probably something like in the Meiji era in Japan, or the Edo era, like with gorgeous gorgeous kimono, yukata, like all that sort of like fantasy, like historical fictiony stuff, and a nice bit of darkness to it. I think, was the second part of that who would write it?
What mangaka
What manga
would you ask to
write or illustrate the series?
It says illuminated,
It's
but
true,
I think it's meant to be illustrate.
Illustrate the series. So definitely, without a doubt, it would be Karayuki, without a doubt, because of her gothic flair on all of her artwork that she does, her like her use of dark negative space and all that sort of stuff. I love that. So it would have to be Karayuki with a Edo or Meiji era, with a bit of romance, a bit of blood, maybe sort of like gangsters in there, like the Yakuza, like if the Yakuza could be put into that Meiji era kind of thing, like if it wasn't there already. I'm not entirely sure on my historical facts there, guys, but something like that would literally get my juices flowing, and I love it. So next question please, Reese.
It's from Manga Enchanted.
Oh yes, hey girl, thank you for your listen.
Congrats on 1K.
Thank you.
What's the weirdest manga you've ever read?
The weirdest manga I've ever read. Weirdest manga. Oh, weirdest. I'm kind of looking around trying to think what was weird. I don't really know if there is one I would say that was weird. I kind of have a lot of things that I like, so I feel like I'm quite an open-minded person, so I don't think a lot of stuff would weird me out because of that. But the only one that I haven't read at the moment that kind of gives me a little bit of a, oh, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, is the BL series Toritan that Reese picked up for me in our challenge video. It's just like, for me, the concept of there being like a guy that turns into a bird is really bizarre, and knowing that's a BL, so you know that some sort of like Smexitam is gonna happen, and for me, if the Smexitam was a bird, it's kind of creepy. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that one. So that's probably one of the ones that is a little bit like weird to me. But other than that, I can't think of anything else. There is a series that I just didn't get on with at all, but not necessarily because it was weird or creepy. It just didn't float my boat, and that one was Demon Diary. It was actually a manhwa. I don't remember enjoying it. It's still in my collection and I'm trying to get rid of it, but that was probably one of the ones that I didn't enjoy at all. Next question please.
There's a two-part to this question too.
Okay.
This is from D Place. What's a hidden gem in your collection?
A hidden gem in my collection. So for me, my hidden gem, and I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for this, particularly from Base Senpai because he hates this series, and that is Dr. Stone. I absolutely adore this series. Like, it's all about science. The world gets petrified. All the human beings in the world gets petrified and turned to stone. Then we fast forward thousands and thousands of years into the future, and Senku, which is this guy on the front, ends up releasing himself from the petrification, and it's all about building civilization up back from nothing using the power of science. So I'm an absolute science buff when it comes to like astronomy and stuff like that. I really enjoy watching all sorts of documentaries on it, so this is right up my street, and I feel like this is such a hidden gem and gets slept on in the community, probably because it's not your stereotypical shonen. There's not massive power-ups, there's not a lot of fighting, or anything like that. It's literally just about building the world back to normal with the power of science and trying to figure out what caused the petrification thousands of years ago and seeing if they can undo all the petrification. There was like a little bit of fighting when the Science Kingdom had to take on a different kingdom. There was a bit of fighting there and I enjoyed it, but it's really not like a tournament type series or anything like that. It's just a really wholesome shonen and I really enjoy it, and I definitely feel like a lot of people should give it a go. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I really do enjoy this series, so it would have to be Dr. Stone.
The second part to that question is, what's a series you wish everyone picked up?
A series that I wished everybody would...
That isn't Dr. Stone.
That isn't Dr. Stone. You know it was going to be Dr. Stone. So a series that I would recommend that everybody picks up, I'm actually going to say 3 series. Because I feel like these 3 series can cross between shonen and shoujo. Both sides of the demographic can definitely enjoy these series because it's not more leaning one to the other. And the first one being Yona of the Dawn, it's such a beautiful series. Like, there's a lot of political play in there. You've got a female character that's a strong female lead, and I really enjoy that. It's a bit of historical fantasy. It's just really nice, and I definitely would recommend anybody that enjoys shonen but hasn't tried a shoujo, definitely give that one a go. The second one would have to be Requiem of the Rose King. This is kind of like a tale or a take on War of the Roses, set back in medieval England, and it's dark, it's gritty, there's blood. Obviously it's in the medieval times, so you're going to get a lot of blood anyway, but it's a fantastic series, and it's one that I definitely would recommend, especially if you enjoy a darker shonen, because of the blood, because of the gore. It's not a very pretty shoujo, if that makes sense. The artwork is like stunning, but it's not very girly, if that makes sense. Like sparkly, like flowers and sparkles everywhere. It's very dark and gritty, and I really enjoy it. And the final one that I would recommend would probably have to be Prince Freya. So for me, Prince Freya is the series that is smack bang in the middle between Requiem of the Rose King and Yona of the Dawn. It's not quite as dark as Requiem of the Rose King so far, but it's not as fluffy and light as Yona of the Dawn. It's just smack bang in the middle, and I highly recommend all 3 for any of you that enjoy a shonen but want to dip their toes into a shoujo but don't know where to start. Those 3 are definitely the ones that I'd recommend. So this was the end of part 1. I'm going to do part 2, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you to everybody that have submitted a question for this first part. Thank you so much, I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yeah, see you next time guys, bye.